bear with me as I read this. Yesterday, you said your new budget would include more migrant aid for the city, but we got a new memo from the city budget director saying the state told the city it's going to limit its assistance for targeted aid for job placement, case management, no more money for housing. It's forcing the city to cut the migrant budget by 20%. Are you worried this will mean migrants will have no choice but to live on the street?
What I want to point out is that in our budget, this past budget that we're living in now, I work with the legislature to allocate $1 billion to help with the migrant crisis. We have stepped up. The costs are higher than anticipated. We are prepared to increase that to $2 billion. But it's a reimbursement situation where the city is supposed to show us what they spent and draw down from that money. I think they've only drawn down about $250 million, but I will possibly stand corrected. We can get that confirmed, about $250 million of the total that we're prepared to spend for them. And we're also covering 40% now of all the housing costs when we put in about a third for the hotels and those accommodations, but the large-scale locations, Randall's Island, Floyd Bennett Field, even smaller, but we converted a former prison in Harlem. Those are 100% state costs. So when you add up all those beds, I mean, some of them are $350 million each. So we're already doing that on top of our earlier commitments. And we are fully funding the costs of the application process to track people, case management, identify where people are. Are they from Venezuela? Did they come in before July 31st? Are they eligible for temporary protected? That has a cost of about $88 million. The legal services, the tracking, helping connect people to the jobs, the 40,000 jobs that I have available on our own website that I established. So we're picking up all those costs. I just want to say, if someone says the state of New York is not doing anything, let me give you the list, because it is long. We have committed to continue helping with housing at certain levels, but it is not sustainable at the levels we are. That does not mean we're abandoning the city in that respect. It just means that we have to be, have common sense on what we can actually handle, the city and the state, and the policies to say that there's not unlimited housing for the entire world to come stay in a hotel in Midtown. Okay, that era is over, and that's just a reality check for the city and for us. So, no, we're not going to commit to continuing those expenses, but also the city's changes in how long people stay in housing are going to also make that an accommodation. We're tracking the numbers of people coming now. A lot of the new individuals are going to the state paid-for facility at Floyd Bennett Field. That's occurring already. So I would just say, it's not just, are we going to pay all this or not? We already are doing this much, and we'll have to look at our budget to see what we can do. I'm dealing with a tough budget as well. I don't want to act like this is a blank check to everybody. I said we could help additionally with law enforcement, specific law enforcement areas, as we have in the past, because the safety of New York City is critical to me as governor, but also to our economic well-being, and people deserve to be safe. So we'll have those conversations. So I am not telegraphing any more about my budget, because that's what I'm intently working on every single day as I wrap up the last 200 bills that need to be addressed before the end of the year. State of the state and budget are top of mind for me as well. So we will have answers to all these questions in a matter of weeks.
All right, we've got time for one more.
All right.
And yes, under 250 million today.
Under 250 million, I stand corrected. It's less than a quarter of 1/8 of what they have available to them. So the city would, they know that. We work closely with them. We're working with them.